The next big breaking, the ED, of course, has stepped into the matter. Sources tell us they are all set to probe in the midst of it all. The Karnataka Home Minister has now come out and said that ED has no case to probe here because the Karnataka Minister contends that there was no financial transaction between the Chief Minister or his wife with MUDA, so the ED has no jurisdiction to probe this case. Listen in.
See, I don't know. I don't know the intricacies or the decisions of ED to register a PMLA case. As far as I know, there was no financial transactions. There is no benefit out of those transactions, either by CM or CM's wife. In both the cases, I don't see any financial transactions. So why or how the ED has entered, I don't know. They have to justify later on.
Well, this is an interesting twist. Now that Parvati has offered to return all the 14 plots that she got in lieu of her land, which she says was a gift from her brother, part of her ancestral heritage, does that really change the contours of this probe? Remember, what we are picking up is that ED is now stepping in and it is going to be looking into this case. ED being a secondary institution, a secondary body, it can only file and step into a case after some other investigative agencies filed an FIR. In this case, of course, it is the Lokayukta which has filed an FIR against Siddaramaiah and his wife. But now that Parvati has offered to return all the 14 plots, is there no case left? Well, you just heard G. Parameshwara, who's the Home Minister of Karnataka. He says that the ED has zero jurisdiction here because there was no transaction when it comes to monetary benefits which may have been made. So let me go back across to Deepak. Deepak, we just discussed the probe, but also politically, how does this go on? After Siddaramaiah's wife has said, don't target women who are part of political families just because you have hatred towards my husband, will the attacks ebb out now, considering she's offered to return the plots?
Well, not at all. That's precisely what the BJP is saying, and they're in fact pulling out a reaction that came in from Mr. Siddaramaiah over a decade ago, talking in connection to a case that Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa was dealing with, and saying at that point in time, Mr. Yediyurappa, while there was a probe on, he decided to return a piece of land, and he says the returning of the piece of land itself is an admission of guilt, and they're using this statement of Mr. Siddaramaiah to now, say that what he has done or what his wife has done is an admission of guilt, and more importantly, does not show in any way or prove in any way that he is innocent, and a fair investigation should still go on, an independent inquiry should still go on, and his resignation should come by. And not just that, some of them are even demanding some of the cabinet colleagues who supported him should also step down. Now we'll really have to see, with this sort of mounting pressure, how the Congress High Command really views this, whether this is really gone out of hand at this point in time. Can they continue to firefight? Can they continue to maintain that they're going to wait it out in the investigation while, all of these developments have been taking place over the last couple of weeks?
Well, keep tracking the developments on that front. Of course, the big story that we are tracking for you, which is coming in from Karnataka, is that now Siddaramaiah's wife has offered to surrender all the 14 plots, which she has made it very clear were part of her ancestral legacy. She said that it was part of a gift from her brother, in lieu of which she had exchanged her ancestral land with the 14 plots which were granted to her by MUDA. Meanwhile, some big breaking